The crowd. Well, apparently we've been waiting, what's it, 7:04 now? We've been waiting the last 4 minutes because no one was willing to take up the microphone and say hello to y'all. So thanks for coming. Welcome to Huntersville Associate Reformed Presbyterian Church. And we're so blessed to be able to host the Bells of Lake Norman once again. And I guess they're coming on to their stands now. Looks like we're a little leaning leftward today, unless you're stage right. So a lot more folks on this side of the room. So I hope your view is good. It's been a blessing to host them in the past. A number of our members at Arch Bell Choir is performing as well, so we love having them here when we can. So obviously, we're going to ring in the season, and hope everyone's looking forward to a blessed Christmas. And let's enjoy the performance.
Good evening. My name is John Johnston. I'm the director of Bells of Lake Norman. I'll talk more specifically about our group a little bit later on in our performance. But the first song that you heard was Sleigh Ride. It's obviously one of those pieces that people tend to hear a lot during the Christmas time, and it's one that I've really wanted to play for several years, and so we finally pulled it out, and I think we did a pretty good job of it, actually. Throughout the concert this evening, you're going to hear from the folks that are on the other side of the table more than you're going to hear from me. Except for when we get towards the end, about between the next to last song and the last song, I'm actually going to give you the opportunity to talk a little bit by asking questions. If you have questions about the group, I'll talk a little bit about them, but if you have questions about the group or what we do and that sort of thing, you feel free to, or the bells or whatever, you can ask us at that point in time. You will hear lots of different types of sounds coming from the table this evening. You heard the bells predominantly out of our first piece. We have two other instruments that we play from the table, chimes and silver melody bells. We also will have a flute that plays with us in one of our pieces tonight. But anyway, enjoy the concert, and I'll talk with you more later. I'm going to hand the microphone over to Dawn.
Well, good evening. So glad to see you here. Thank you for coming. As he said, my name is Dawn. I'll be introducing our next piece, and the next piece includes a traditional technique called change ringing. And this traditional technique originated in England in the 16th century. Change ringing involves taking a set of notes and playing them over and over, but changing the pattern as you go. So it sounds like it's something different, but it's the same notes. Our piece starts out with a change ringing section that includes the notes C, D, F, and G. So it's 4 notes, and it's put through different patterns and permutations, even changes where we go from octave to octave and places where the octaves overlap, but they are separated by a couple beats. And so we start out with this technique, and then when we get into the song, it goes into the melody, which is from the traditional hymn, Of the Father's Love Begotten. And this started out as a poem in the 4th century, a long time ago. Was originally a poem written in Latin, and later was set to music in the medieval period. So you'll hear, throughout the piece, you'll hear the change ringing overlapped with the hymn. The hymn speaks of who Christ is and what he has done, and it's a call to all creation to praise him forevermore. So we hope you enjoy Change Ring Prelude on Divine Mysterium.
My name is Jennifer Perrell, and I am introducing our next song called Mr. Santa. In 1954, Pat Ballard wrote a song called Mr. Sandman, and it was very popular. It was recorded by the Chordettes. And then later that year, he re-released the song with different lyrics, and it was called Mr. Santa. In Mr. Sandman, the singer is asking for a dream boy or girl, and in Mr. Santa, they're asking for toys because it's Christmas. They pledge to be good and ask for all the good girls and boys to get toys for Christmas. Pat Ballard's song in both recordings has been re-recorded lots and lots of times over the years, but this is our version, and it has lots of cool's not a good word. Sorry, I was trying so hard to be good. It has lots of interesting handbell techniques. There you go. Such as a sassy bass line. Enjoy, please, our version of Mr. Santa.
My name is Carol, and I'm going to introduce our next piece, which is actually a medley of two different carols. One is the cradle song, which we all know as Away in a Manger, and the second one was called In Dulce Jubilee, which was written, it was a German carol written back in the 14th century, and it comes together as called Rejoicing at the Manger. Hope you enjoy.
My name is Rochelle Roberts, and I'm going to introduce our next song, which is called A Fantasy on Simple Gifts. You may be familiar with the song Simple Gifts from other arrangements. The text and the melody of this song were written by the elder Joseph Brackett in 1848. He wrote it for a Shaker sect that lived in Appalachia. It was quoted in a book by Edward Andrews on gifts to be simple, songs, dances, and rituals of the American Shakers. Aaron Copland found the tune and used it in his ballet, Appalachian Spring. It was using a set of variations that the song carries a recitative measure so you can sing it without the music. Our arrangement is by Brian Childers. He is the musical director at Myers Park United Methodist. It is a beautiful arrangement that pays tribute to Copland and the Scottish-Irish influence of American folk culture.
Hello. My name is Monica. And our next piece is Los Peces en el Rio. Literally translated to the fishes in the river. So this is a Mexican Christmas carol. And what this one does, it draws a contrast between the fishes in the river who are excited about the birth of the baby Jesus and the Virgin Mary who goes about the chores of everyday life. And nobody really knows the author or composer. They don't know how this song came about. It just is. Just is. This song will also end, you'll notice it'll be a tune change at the end. It goes into Dale, 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 which is a traditional children's song in Latin America centered around the piñata tradition. And also, you will notice we have a director change in this song. So enjoy. Lots of techniques in this one too.
Hi, I'm Allison. sure y'all have heard enough of me already today, but I've been here a while, so I'm comfortable. So our next piece, we're thrilled to share a timeless holiday favorite. If you guys love the Peanuts gang as much as we do, we're going to do a Charlie Brown Christmas, originally composed by the talented Vince Guaraldi. This iconic music has become synonymous with the spirit of Christmas. It's arranged for handbells by Kevin McChesney. Our rendition captures the joyful and heartfelt essence of the Peanuts gang's holiday journey. We hope this charming piece brings a sense of nostalgia and warmth to your holiday season, just as it has for so many of us for all generations. And you're gonna have to bear with me because I have a lot of bells in this song, so I gotta make sure I get it right. Thank you.
Good afternoon. My name is Jody Perrell. I'm the president of the group. Thank you. Wonderful Christmas Time by Paul McCartney, originally a 1979 festive classic, gets a delightful twist in Ron Mallory's handbell arrangement that we will be performing this evening. The original version, written during McCartney's time with the band Wings, captures the cheerful, laid-back vibe of the holiday season. Mallory's version brings out the song's warm, nostalgic feel through the rich, resonant tones of handbells. The arrangement highlights the cheerful and simple melody, making it perfect for handbell choirs to perform during the holiday season. Optional additions like sleigh bells and hand chimes enhance the festive atmosphere, creating a joyful and enchanting rendition. This arrangement allows ringers and audiences alike to experience the magic of Christmas through McCartney's timeless tune in a new and captivating way. According to Wikipedia, Wonderful Christmas Time continues to receive substantial annual festive airplay. I'm sure we can all attest to that. Although some music critics consider it to be one of McCartney's mediocre compositions. Beatles author Robert Rodriguez has written of Wonderful Christmas Time, "Love it or hate it, few songs within the McCartney oeuvre have provoked such strong reactions. Without further ado, please enjoy Wonderful Christmas Time."
Hi, my name is Naomi Priola, and I'm here to introduce Lo How a Rose, Air Blooming. This next piece is a traditional German Christmas carol, also known as ist ein Ros Astromenger. So that means a rose has sprung up. The carol's origins are often traced back to the 16th century. The lyrics speak of the prophecy of Isaiah and the birth of Jesus, symbolized by a rose blooming in the cold of winter. The rose represents the Virgin Mary and the miraculous birth of Christ. The carol has been translated into many languages and has various versions, but it consistently conveys themes of hope, purity, and the fulfillment of prophecy.
I hope you've enjoyed the concert thus far. I told you that I would give you the opportunity to help in the performance tonight. If you had questions about the group and about the music and about the instrument, just a little bit about Bells of Lake Norman. It began in the fall of 2014 as a quartet, ringing most of what you see behind you. Behind me, not behind you, behind me. There's nothing back there. Anyway, and it obviously has grown. At that point in time, the quartet was ringing on 4 octaves of bells, 4 octaves of chimes, and we were very fortunate to receive a gift where we were able to get the silver melody bells and the low chimes, and then a few years later, they were able to get the low bass. The bells and all the equipment that's behind me all belong to Center Presbyterian Church, with the exception of the tables, the runners that are under the pads, and the mallets, and a couple of other little odds and ends. The instrument itself is extremely expensive. I'm going to actually let Allison talk about that a little bit in just a few moments. The bells alone, the 5 octaves of bells alone that are behind me, are about $46,000. The chimes are about another 15 to 20. The silver melodies are right in that same ballpark, a little bit less, but it's an expensive hobby to have, but it's a lot of fun. The one thing that strikes me with the handbell group, with the handbell ensemble, is that it takes everyone on the table. If you've got someone that's missing, who's going to play that? It's not like a choir where you've got 4 or 5 sopranos and 5 or 6 basses and so on and so forth. If someone's out, there's someone to cover. In a handbell ensemble, you don't have that. So my hats are off to these ladies and gentlemen. They come each week. We rehearse on Tuesday nights for 2 hours. And sometimes we get together on Saturday to do some other things as well. But that kind of gives you a little bit of idea of what the group is about. So what are your questions that you might have? Yes, ma'am. Okay, there are different techniques. One obviously is malleting. The other is, like that. You've actually seen and heard a couple of different techniques where they put the bell to the table. You've heard a mart. You've heard an echo. That's called a gyro or gyro. It's another technique. Give a little different wobble sound. Gyro. It's hard, whether it's Greek or whatever. I don't. Does that help? Does that answer your question? What other questions might you have? Yes, ma'am.
How do you figure out, because there's so much moving around and people playing different bells, do they volunteer?
Great question. We have, first of all, we have a couple of folks that prefer to stay at one spot, and I try to honor that as best I can. There's some folks that like to ring in the treble clef. There's some folks that like to ring bass clef. There's some folks that like to ring both. And so I try to work that into my rotation. And it's a challenge at best from my perspective, because some people would like to change positions more than what they do already. We had one semester where we changed every other piece, and it wasn't that bad, but so I've tried to minimize that. One of the nice things about being in a position for several songs is that you get to learn how tight the bells are, how loose they are, and that sort of thing. So it helps the continuity of the overall sound. So I hope that answers your question. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am. It's all marked in there. Different things. If you'd like, matter of fact, after the concert, if you'd like to come up to the tables and visit with the ringers, they'll be happy to show you the music, let you see what it looks like.
The chimes are located in these really thin lines that are like this, and if you don't look at them, you won't see them. Like even if you look at them, you won't see them.
Yeah, and the silver melodies, Yeah. Well, and then there's always the fun where I take director's liberties and say, all right, in this section, I want this instrument. So, yes, sir. We typically try to get 4 to 5 concerts a season, and we try to do it at a variety of different locations. A lot of our concert venues are at churches. Interesting enough, the folks that you see behind me are from all over, from a wide variety of backgrounds. We've got people from Salisbury, Statesville, Denver, Lincolnton, Stanley, Mooresville, Troutman, kind of all over, and a wide variety of backgrounds in terms of from a music standpoint. Yes, ma'am. Why do they wear gloves? Well, there's a couple of different things there with gloves. For one, when they're putting their hands on the bells, the oils in on your hands can get on the bells and actually speed up the tarnishing process. And so it's a little easier on the bells when we use gloves. There's a thought process that as long as you're polishing them afterwards, you don't necessarily have to use gloves. I've rung both ways myself. Depends on the setting, depends on on what's happening. If I'm doing a bell solo, I tend to not use gloves, but it all depends. But most of the time, we use the gloves to protect the bells.
It takes a long time to polish these things. We had a
Yeah.
polishing party, and there was how many of us there? Like 7 of us there, 10 of us there, and it still took us like
An hour and a half.
I mean, we've done this, he and I have done this, and it was like the whole thing, and it took us like 3 hours to do.
Yeah.
So it takes a while, so we like to use gloves because we don't have to polish as often.
Yeah. It takes a while. Yes, sir. And I saw the hand over here a moment ago, but. We pay them no attention, just like they pay me no attention. Yes, ma'am. Yeah, but let's go with the big. Let's go with. Yeah, Allison, where you're at, the C is going to be good. You'll have your chime, your silver, and your bell. If you'll ring the bell itself, that's the silver melody is a 2, a little harder. There we go. And then the chime, then all 3 together. Different tones, different color, all the same note. Just it's a musical color is what it amounts to. Yes. Matter of fact, one of the pieces that we've already played, there were a couple of places where they almost got lost, but they got right back together and that sort of thing. But trust me, it happens. Allison. Yes, sir. You can. There are certain things that you can do. For example, it's real interesting. Are we all right back there? Okay. Okay, thank you. Making them softer is much easier than making them louder once it's rung, because there's different things that you can do like a shoulder or a shoulder damp, or you can actually use your thumb to dampen it a little bit. Sometimes you can even use the table to make it softer. Once it's rung, making it louder is more difficult. Matter of fact, one of the pieces that we played tonight, in the last line of the piece, there's a quarter note that's soft with a crescendo to the next note, and the only way to really do that is once it's struck, it's soft and it's got to come up. Is we literally pick the bell up, get it out from in front behind the stand so that it comes out and it will make it a little bit louder. It's a beautiful technique when it works well, and it did tonight. Any other questions? Yes, ma'am. Yes, Raleigh Ringers. Yes, ma'am. No, we've not played with them. I've actually had the opportunity to play on their bells. I went to a workshop up there at their facility in Raleigh. It's a great group, and they've got lots of bells. We're just not to that point yet. I hope to get there one day. That's a dream of mine. All right, I'm actually going to turn the microphone over to Allison for just a moment. so that we can finish this.
Here we go. So he handed the mic to me because I'm his kid, and I'm really good at asking for money. And he knows that's what I'm good at. Anyways, we are a nonprofit organization, so we're a 501c3. We would love to own our own bells sometime, so we have been collecting at each concert, like love offerings and stuff like that. And every little bit helps us, so that way we can reach our dreams and the old man's dreams of having our own bells. So this semester we've done a little bit differently. We've made a couple of different Christmas ornaments. A couple people in the group have done it, and we have a little tree at the back over there and then a little tree at the back over here, and there's envelopes. And if you would like to donate to our group, you put your donation in the little envelope and you can write on it. There's pins if you want to, and we're probably gonna have one of us standing by each table, and then you can have a Christmas ornament. It's just our way of saying thank you, because we really appreciate it, and we really appreciate you guys coming out. And also on your little programs, if you look at the back of it, if you don't have cash or check, we do have a Venmo this year because we are getting high tech. Anyways, but that's my spiel. Thank you guys so much, and I hope you enjoy our last song.
Interesting enough, she's mentioned the fact that she's my daughter. We have, when we look at the table behind me, there are a lot of family connections. We have mother-daughter, mother-son, husband-wife, their spouses and such, so there is a lot of that on the table, which is a lot of fun to do, something you can do with your family, which is really neat. So, our last song is an arrangement of 12 Days of Christmas by Arnold Sherman. Mr. Sherman actually unfortunately passed away earlier this year, and he's one of those composers for handbells that I really like myself. We've done several of his pieces over the years. And he does some things that can be really fun, and the groups can have a little fun with it. And sometimes they get a little carried away. So I hope you enjoy 12 Days of Christmas. This will be a little different from what you know traditionally of this song. It's not a short song. All 12 days. See if you can figure out where we're at during this. having us this evening. Again, feel free to come up and chat with our ringers. Like I say, they'll be happy to let you look at the bells, hand the bell, even hold on to the, now if you go to the big bells, just be careful. Those are heavy, okay, or not Oprah, but they're still heavy. Thank you again. Merry Christmas.